You asked for it. You love it. I promised it. Here it is, your chunk of Trump.
Open wide.
Ready?
Here comes your chunk of Trump.
It's my favorite food.
With your first bite, here's Mark Thompson.
I have a feeling it's going to be beautiful.
I promised you last week that I would tell you about all of the lawyers that are defending the former president. Donald Trump's lawyers make serious bank. These aren't the guys who he promised us to pay. You know, like that's Rudy Giuliani, who he promises to pay, and then Rudy doesn't get any money, and then Rudy's pathetic demise is played out in front of all of us. But Donald Trump's PACs, okay, these are PACs that have been the recipients of a lot of small donor money. They have spent millions on an army of lawyers to take on these 4 separate federal and state criminal cases. And now, with the former president facing 91 criminal charges in 4 separate cases, you can imagine the legal costs have ballooned. So I thought I'd share with you, because I mentioned to you that I would, how much these guys make. Todd Blanche is one guy. He's 49 years old. He's the founder of Blanche Law in New York City. Already, the case hasn't even gone to court yet, you understand. Already in fees, $353,000 paid to his firm. He has a reputation as an aggressive but measured advocate, they say. He's represented Paul Manafort, Mr. Trump's 2016 campaign manager. There he is. Manafort was involved in a Manhattan case that was all about mortgage fraud and other state felonies, and this guy defended him, okay? And Trump hired him in April, and already his firm has been paid $353,000 by Save America. Now, again, Save America is a PAC. So Trump, the billionaire, didn't pay for it. Trump's PAC paid for it. That's all that donor money that's going out.
I wonder if donors knew when they were contributing that all their money would be going to fight legal cases, if they wanted it to go, to directly to campaigning, or if they care, Yeah,
I mean, there seems to be, based on polling, kind of the view that,
whatever.
He's our guy. Use our money any way you want. Pay for gas for the jet. However you want to do it. He's our guy. The founder of Chris Keiss and Associates in Tallahassee, Florida, is a guy named Chris Keiss. And he's a former Florida Solicitor General. He's won 4 cases in front of the Supreme Court. And he worked as a transition advisor for Ron DeSantis. Trump hired him for the federal documents case in the aftermath of the FBI search of the Mar-a-Lago residence. And he was paid an upfront retainer fee of $3 million.
What?
And again, it all came out of the PAC. Here's Christopher Keiss. He's 58 years old and in Tallahassee, Florida, already in fees in the first 6 months of 2023 and in 2022 when he was hired. If you add it all up, and again, this case has not gone to court yet, $5.8 million.
That's a nice payday.
And I mean,
There's never been anything like this.
so
We have to represent Trump.
he's being paid up front, as I said, because these are guys, and you can tell just based on their bona fides, that they are not going to hang out with the promise of being paid. It's not a Giuliani situation. Giuliani was there to drink in the cameras and the lights and the popularity and the profile. He wanted to be relevant, and he wanted to be out there, play to the crowd all the time. And so he was ready to serve up whatever crap he had to and carry Trump's water. This is not Rudy Giuliani. These guys are real lawyers, and they want their money up front. Mm-hmm. I found a link to a site listing contributions by zip code to these PACs, says Becky. Much money came after 11/2020. Sadly, I noticed Many were elderly, and they gave daily.
Yeah.
Well, it is true that the elderly have been a big part of this, and part of that, I'd suggest, is that they really wrap in their emails ways in which you'll automatically be triggered into daily contributions or monthly contributions or weekly. In other words, regular contributions that you, unless you're really looking closely, may not even be aware of. In other words, one click defaults to regular contributions. That's their game. And so that may have something to do with it. Evan Corcoran, partner at Silverman Thompson in Baltimore, 59 years old. Mr. Corcoran has gotten $3.4 million already. He's begun his representation of Donald Trump in the document case as well. In the Stormy Daniels hush money case, Joe Tacopina, 57, founder of Tacopina, Siegel, and Diario in New York. He's already collected $1.7 million in fees. Susan Nechelis, 64, partnered at Nechelis Law in New York City. She's already, in just this year, collected $500,000 in fees. She's there on the, well, she's actually involved in a bunch of different things. She's been defending him and the Trump Organization in a bunch of different investigations. So she's kind of playing the whole field.
But you have to sell your soul to represent him, right? I mean, someone who's so in front of all of us tried to kill democracy in America. So to represent him, you really have to, maybe it's worth that money to sell yourself like that.
Well, first I'll say, yes, you have to really check your morality, ethics at the door. But
Right.
but now let me say this. And it pains me to say it, but I must.
Everyone deserves a defense.
In this country,
blah.
yeah, everyone deserves
Yeah.
to be heard. Now, the problem here, and of course the problem with the system, is that it is insanely rigged to those who have money. And so if you're rich enough, you can skate from many of the things that others would not be able to skate from. And so, to your point, if you can find enough of these various high-profile defense lawyers to take on your case, then you might be in better shape. And clearly that's Donald Trump's view. If you've got the money, why not get the very best? And he does have the money, but it's not his money. It's the small donor money. Over and over and over again, we talk about how, he's a billionaire and all this. And the reality is that the small donors are paying for his defense. I can go on. John Lauro, who is a principal of Lauro and Singer in New York, he formerly joined the legal team in the election interference case. And the guy I really want you to see, and Google him, Albert, maybe you can get a shot of him, Drew Findling. Now, Drew Findling, if you don't know, he is like the gangsta lawyer down there in Atlanta, okay? And he's 63 years old, and if you Google him, you'll see pictures of him with rappers, with NBA players, with high-profile, embattled figures. He's already collected, there he is, thank you. He's already collected $816,000 in fees. He is a prolific figure in this world of Atlanta rap, and he's called the billion-dollar lawyer. He's represented Cardi B and Gucci Mane, and his defense work is really well regarded. Now, he's also, this is just one of these things, he's so mobbed up in that world of Atlanta that he's actually donated money to the re-election campaign of the judge in the Trump trial in Georgia. Wow. So this is a guy who's, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's taken on high-profile murder cases, political corruption scandals. This guy does it all. And again, this is not to say he's a dirty lawyer at all. He actually is well-regarded and well-respected. And he's apparently very well-liked by juries. And that's oftentimes how he gets the kind of decisions that you want or that he wants. In any case, Everybody's making money. I could go on and on, but there it is. A lot of people.
Sharp. Look at him with his purple striped tie and
he
his purple,
always
like he's going to a wedding.
Yeah, he always liked that.
Yeah.
Randy doesn't like it. Randy says he's not crazy about that tie with that suit.
Oh, well.
Well, there you have it. Those are a few of the former president's lawyers and the money that they are pulling out of this case.
I was reading that it's in total that's been paid out $140 million to legal fees. Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. In fact, there was a great piece in Open Secrets, which I recommend to you all. If you haven't found it, you can find it across the web. Open Secrets talked about the fact that Trump PACs have steered all that money, and as was said by Kim, either 130, 140 million, depending on who you look at. But they've documented it all, and this money is coming from those PACs, and it's all to cover legal fees. Okay, that is the bill being paid, and the rest of it, I'm sure, is being again channeled to lifestyle and all the rest. These PACs very loose when it comes to where that money's going to go, as you're well aware, and that's part of the, I'd say, flawed political system in America. And on that note, and this is how I'll finish this out, this has to do with scam PACs, okay? These are, again, political action committees that are scams. They deceive political donors with various stories. And where the money goes and ultimately where it ends up is not something that a lot of donors pay attention to. Scam PACs work like this. They fundraise under the pretext that they're supporting a specific candidate or an issue-based cause, like fighting cancer, let's say. Or veterans is another popular one. That money is used to engage in more fundraising. And so that sets in motion a vicious cycle of essentially swindling donors, right? And a lot of those donors are elderly, as we've said. So the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York announced that a PAC treasurer, this was just happened this past week, Robert Piaro, and a fundraiser, Richard Zeitlin, that they were indicted for defrauding donors while soliciting money through a comprehensive telemarketing scheme. Again, it was completely faux advocacy. Unsuspecting citizens gave millions of dollars to Piaro and Zeitlin's scam PACs. Without knowing the signs, it's easy to mistake a scam PAC for a legitimate political group or a charity. So what should you look for? One way to identify a scam PAC is when a PAC reports that the majority of their expenses went toward, quote, fundraising or consulting, or a large chunk is spent on administrative costs, or compliance is another sort of one of those words. Or what's compliance? That's often a sign that the PACs are not engaging in political advocacy. So the number of PACs spent with money spent on fundraising is huge. And I hate to say it, but it's mostly Republican or conservative PACs. I mean, by over 2-1. And those are just the facts. So if you want to read more, you can read it over at Open Secrets. They had a good piece on this. And that, my friends, is your chunk of Trump.
That's right.
That's it for this edition.
Well, I really enjoyed it.
But make sure to join us again next time
I think you might want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening.
for another chunk of Trump.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.